Why do we do this? When you're in complicated meeting after meeting after meeting, and you're like, yeah, but at the end of some of these meetings, somebody will live because we help them build the power to fight.
You three are dynamic and powerful in the work that you do every day. But I'm almost certain that when you were in third grade and your teacher asked you, what did you want to be when you grow up? It wasn't the first thing on your mind to be doing the powerful movement work, policy work that you're doing now. So there's a reason you're here. You're here by choice or by providence, right? And so I want to hear a little bit about your stories. What drove you to doing this work, and what keeps you here?
I love that you said third grade, because let me tell you, I was supposed to get left back in third grade because I had three F's, which was the bar for getting left back. And my mom was so tenacious. We just happened to be moving that year from the neighborhood I had grown up in Brooklyn to we were moving to Queens. And the reason we were moving, and also the reason why I got multiple F's in third grade, is because there had been a shooting on my block that year, and there was a young boy who was in my third grade class who was caught in the crossfire who died. We went to his funeral, and I just remember sitting there. The funeral was on Saturday, and on Monday, I was like, what's the point of this? What am I even doing? Like, I can get shot tomorrow. Why am I going to sit here and try in school? School doesn't matter. Nothing matters. And I was just in a dark place for a while, and I did not do well. And my mom knew that. And she fought when we moved to Queens. She made the case, please just let her go to fourth grade. And so I slowly did better. And a few years later, I had a real turnaround and I started to thrive academically. And when I got on a path that allowed me to go to college, I remember in college thinking, this has to be for my people, you know? And so I took all these classes on poverty and racial inequality. I didn't want to go off and go to school and get disconnected from my people, from the communities that I grew up in, and the communities that made me, and that I still had and always would have deep connections to.
I think for me, there was never like a single moment for me, so much as I think I don't know that I was born to do anything else. Even when I was unfortunately, unfortunately in some ways, I've had the very stereotypical Black kid story of growing up or a lot of violence in the house, a lot of violence in the community. So by third grade, I had seen terror and and a lot of death and a lot of pain. And so I don't really remember having a moment where I felt like there was something else to do. I was in college. I was finishing college before I realized I could like do it for work. But I remember as a kid wanting to be a teacher to help other kids. And then I was like, I'll be an architect because I want to build houses for poor people because we moved 17 times by the time I went to college. And I wanted to get a house for my mom and I wanted to help other people get houses. And so much of who I am has always been that. I had a 3-month stint at a bank where I was like, I'm done with this movement space. And I went to work at a bank and they were happy to hire me. I had a math background and I was like, absolutely not. I have to go, right? Like I tried to run from my call and my fate as hard as I could. And I ran right back and was like, just take me. I'll do it for free. Anything to be back in the community. And so it's who I am at my core. What keeps me going is the experiences with community.
I despise poverty. Understood it was not my mother's choice. I always wanted to sew. She is such a amazing woman. She raised amazing kids. So let me go and get the job that pays me the most money to show that everything is correct. So I ran into capitalism and got my butt kicked in capitalism, but reverted back to a normal job. And then Katrina happened. And I again watched how Black poor people were treated, how the South was treated. And I made a promise to myself. I was still working a capitalistic job at that point for a hotel that I loved. But I said, I will be a different person because I can't stand to watch this happen to people that do not deserve this. What keeps me here is knowing that even as far as I have been given privilege and I move up in the world, There are so many people that I know and I love that touch me daily. That's got to fight the honest fight, and they keep me grounded. And they remind me of why I'm in this work to begin with. Because every once in a while, you do need a reminder. Um, why do we do this? When you're in complicated meeting after meeting after meeting, and you're like, yeah, but at the end of some of these meetings, somebody will live because we help them build the power to fight.
For more conversations like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel and learn more at meetattheintersection.org.